I find it interesting because the Raw after Mania had a lot of people talking about how Vince was back and blah 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 before there was even any confirmation of it. It was just like this was a Vince show. He's gonna screw this up. Blah blah blah. The Raw after Mania was an absolute clown show. It was so bad. Then we get confirmation that it was a Vince run show. And I was complaining on Twitter just like everybody else, just being, expressing my disappointment. And I had someone saying to me like, how do you even know that it was that Vince had anything to do with it? And I was, citing the sources of being like, these are people who have backstage sources who have confirmed it, and he was questioning that, whatever. And he's like, well, people have been saying this for months that he's back and whatever. It's like, okay, well, first of all, he has been back for months. They basically announced it in January. But also, if you can sit here and tell me that there is no difference between that Vince booked Raw after Mania and last night's Raw, then I don't know what's wrong with you, because you might need to go to the eye doctor. I know that's just like such a silly thing to say, but like if you could honestly watch the Raw after Mania and think it was at all similar to the like nearly over an hour, it had to have been over an hour of actual wrestling that we had
there
last
was a
night,
lot more
then
than
you're
yeah.
blind. There's something wrong with you, because that is what stood out to me the most, is how much actual wrestling there was last night. I'm like, that's what people are paying for. That's what people want to see. You don't want to see all these backstage segments, these promos in the ring that lead to nothing, or all these video packages. Like, no, we need a good mix, but the whole point of watching professional wrestling is because you love the art of professional wrestling, so you want to see it happen. And
And there
last
was a
night,
lot of
that was
that.
Triple H completely.
It was good to see it because now you're getting a little bit of that balance you didn't see before. You're getting that wrestling where it's the majority of it. You want to see that throughout its entirety with good feuds.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah,
Rich.
Richard says Raw is better than what a lot of people online are saying. And this is the thing, is I've noticed, a lot of people are optimistic, of course, and I think that you should still be with Triple H as the head of creative, because he's going to have a bumpy road, first of all, because there's a learning curve. This isn't something that he's used to. He's doing Raw and SmackDown, plus he's trying to figure out what the live events are. Like, there's a lot there for someone to learn. And so I think his criticism is often too harsh, because it's almost as if Vince is still making the shows and there's just like nothing going on that people are excited about. Of course, there's things that he could do better, and we've even talked about it. But like, what would you complain about last night? Like, we had two women's matches, right?
Two good ones.
Two
Or
good
I
women's.
would say one good one and two the other one was good for the telling of the story.
Right, yeah, but
There's
yeah,
no
and then we had the Trish segment, like
oh
we had
man.
all sorts, and I'm like, could they put more? Sure. But we had a lot of wrestling, a lot of matches, a lot of good matches, a lot of story build up, a lot of wrestlers were on television last night. Like, there was virtually no one that wasn't on that people would be like, "Oh man, I can't believe I went to that
He's
show and I
found a
didn't
way to
see."
sneak Corbin and Tazawa.
I know. So
Are
that's
you
what I'm saying.
kidding
Like,
me?
does it suck that Lita wasn't there or Becky wasn't there? Sure, but Becky
Who
said
cares? You don't
during
want
the
that because
day.
it's old.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I
I know
think
what you
that
mean.
at this point people are just complaining for the sake of complaining. And most of the time I've noticed it'll be, I always say this, but it's always the people who don't have profile pictures of themselves. It's of their favorite wrestler, and it's going to be like the most like obscure wrestler that they're upset is not on TV. And I'm like, but when have they ever been consistently on TV? Like, your picture it doesn't make any sense. So
It doesn't.
I think people just want to complain for the sake of complaining.